Hey, this is Grayson. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I think is the most important thing when it comes to overcoming tinnitus and living a good life despite having tinnitus. Because we don't just want to get by, we don't just want to survive, we actually want to thrive and live a good, full, happy, fulfilled life despite having tinnitus. And that's 100% possible. Take it from somebody who knows, who when I first got tinnitus, I wasn't sure that I would ever have those things, that I would ever live a full life, a happy life. I thought, this is going to be the defining thing in my life. And fast forward several years, and that's not the case. In fact, like most days, I don't even notice tinnitus. And when I do, it's not something that stresses me out or anything anymore. It's just like, oh, there's that, there it is. And then I move on with my life. So a lot of people look to some kind of fancy supplements. A lot of people look at all these different hearing aids or fancy sound machines. And while those things can be helpful, especially depending on, your specific case and your symptoms, in any case, I don't think it's the most important thing. Before we jump into the most important thing, I have a free gift for you. Click the link below and I'll send it over. It's called the Quick Thrive Guide. It's got everything in it that helped me go from struggling with tinnitus to actually living a good life. I would say overcoming tinnitus. I'm not saying my tinnitus went away, but I live a good life now despite having tinnitus. So click the link below and get out and check it out. And let me know what you think. Okay, so the most important thing when it comes to living a good life with tinnitus is actually your mindset. So for a second, think about this. If you're going through your day-to-day and you notice tinnitus, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it a negative thought or is it a positive thought? Chances are it's negative. And then for most of us, when we have that negative thought, that just keeps compounding. It leads to another negative thought and another one and another one. And so when we notice our tinnitus, and this is especially the case if you just recently got it, or if you're in a period or a phase right now where you're struggling with it, when you notice it, you kind of go down this negative spiral, and it leads to a feeling of distress, potentially anxiety or even depression if it's something that you're noticing all the time. And so what we want to do is we want to notice when we're having those negative thoughts and swap them out for positive ones. And that might sound a little bit crazy. Again, especially if you're in a place right now where you're really struggling with it, because honestly, I remember thinking this, how could there be anything positive about this horrible thing, about this horrible ringing in my ears that I can't get to stop? And it certainly feels that way sometimes, but over time, I begin to pull out some things that, hey, this actually is a benefit of it. And so I encourage you to try to find a couple of things where you can turn it, where you can twist those thoughts and say, it's not just negative, there's actually these positive things about it. And this isn't something that is a life-defining thing. Yeah, I have it, I have tinnitus, and I'm living with it, but I'm gonna choose to live a good life despite the tinnitus. I'm not gonna let tinnitus define everything in my life, because there's a lot of good things there too, other than just the tinnitus. So a couple of examples of this could be, let's see, maybe you say, you notice the tinnitus and you start thinking, gosh, how am I gonna enjoy this day? How am I gonna enjoy this family function or this event or this concert with this tinnitus? And so what you can do instead is just think, I have this tinnitus, and because of that, I can be even more appreciative or more thankful of these family members that are around me, or this thing that I get to experience, because there are people with worse conditions than this that actually prevent them from being able to enjoy these things. And yeah, while I do have tinnitus, I can still go and enjoy these things. And maybe I want to wear earplugs or take some hearing protective measures, but I can still go and enjoy these things. So it's certainly not the worst thing out there to deal with. And I don't want to minimize it, because it does really suck. It does. But again, we can choose to live a good life despite it, despite all the things that go along with it. So another example would be, find something that you can actually turn and make it a good thing about it. And so for me, there were a couple of things. One was I decided, I'm not gonna let the tinnitus define me. Instead, I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm living with this tinnitus, but I'm a stronger person because of it. I know that I can do hard things because of it. Because I deal with this, oh my gosh, there's no limit to the crap I can deal with in day-to-day life because I deal with this 24/7. I deal with the ringing in my ears 24/7, which gets pretty annoying. But again, because I know I can deal with that and I live with it and I enjoy my life anyways despite it, I know that I can do other really hard things and go through a lot of crap, to get to an end goal. And the other thing is I'm a person of faith, so for me it's like I connect it to my faith and I say, I may be dealing with this thing, I may be going through this hard thing, but because of that, it's strengthened my faith. It's driven me to dive deeper into my faith and, get stronger in that way. So these could be different for you, but I encourage you to just try and, even if you have to stretch at first to come up with a positive thing about it, do your best, even if you're not 100% sure in the beginning that it actually is a positive thing, stretch and do your best and try to come up with something and then kind of repeat that in your head, through the day and for several days or weeks until, when you notice the tinnitus, instead of going directly to a negative thought, you can pull that thing out and go, actually, this tinnitus, it does really stink, but there's this positive thing about it. And I'm not gonna let tinnitus define my whole life. There's this positive thing about it, and I'm gonna live a good and fulfilling life despite tinnitus. So, screw you, tinnitus. I'm gonna focus on the good things. I'm gonna focus on all the good things around me and all the, the people in my life who love me, whom I love, all the awesome experiences that I get to be a part of. And so again, that's why I think that mindset is the most important thing when you're trying to overcome tinnitus. It's not hearing aids, it's not a sound machine, but it's when you notice that tinnitus, when you're struggling with it, are you thinking all these negative thoughts, or can you actually turn some of those to a positive and focus on the positive things around you and have a positive mindset? That's it for today. Again, click the link below to get my Quick Thrive guide. I think it'll help you. It's everything that's helped me go from the beginning stages where I was really struggling with tinnitus to where I am now, where again, most of the time from day to day, I don't notice it. And when I do, it's just kind of there. And I'm like, oh yeah, the tinnitus, and I kind of move on with my day. So check that guide out. Let me know what you think. Give me feedback in the comments. Click the subscribe button. I'm gonna keep making videos like this to try to help other people with tinnitus because it sucks. And I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're alone in this, because they're not. There's a bunch of us out there who have it, but there is a good outlook. We can live a good life despite this thing that we deal with. So again, click subscribe, check out the guide. Let me know what you think. All right, have a good one.